What is up, everybody? This is Ray from Radar Reviews, and I am here to bring you part 2 of the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie review. So in the first part of the film, the first part of this two-part series, I went into the movie. I discussed the movie. I discussed certain parts I like, character, story arc, stuff like that. I'm not into too much detail because I didn't want to spoil too much stuff for anybody, but I gave a good movie review on that. Here, what I'm going to do, this might be some spoiler territory, so what I'm going to do here in this video is not discuss the parts that happen in the movie, but really the after credits scene is what I'm going to get into. In one of the after credits scenes, you see a Ravager, which is part of Yondu's crew. He has Yondu's fin on his head, and it's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny scene. He's practicing whistling to try to control that arrow. I started laughing at that point because I was like, really? You think you're gonna get as nice as Yondu with your arrow now? Anyway, so he's practicing, he's whistling, and he's messing around with it. All of a sudden, the arrow just jumps to the side. His auto just darts automatically to the side and stabs. It completely stabs Drax in the shoulder, and Drax is screaming for dear life. He's like, and then this guy's just like backing up, like. Let me see. One of the second, because it's like 3 of them, 4 of them. The second after credits scene is more story driven. It shows Sylvester Stallone, because Sylvester Stallone is in the movie, is in Guardians of the Galaxy. He has a small cameo. Did a good job too. And he's supposed to play another character that, if you look up, he plays a character called Starhawk. They never refer to him as Starhawk in the movie, but popular consensus goes like, wait a minute, what character is that? Wait a minute, that he's with a guy with a diamond face, whatever. Oh, so somebody online went, looked it up, put up a whole article. Other people followed it. I saw it. I read it. I'm like, oh, that's what makes sense. So Starhawk was one of the characters from, I believe, the 60s or 70s comic book lines, where he was one of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. Now he's a Ravager, and now he has his own crew of Ravagers that go around and ravage things. So they touched on that in one of the post-credit scenes, or after credit scenes. That's interesting, because like, is that gonna lead to something pertaining to Infinity Wars or the Guardians of the Galaxy 3? The next after credit scene is another comedy one. I think I'm mixing up the order a little bit, but it doesn't really matter because after credit scenes, you see Groot. He's no longer Baby Groot. Baby Groot is only for this movie. Now he's teenage Groot in this scene, and he's playing some video games in his room, and there's vines everywhere, and everything's a mess. And you see Peter Quill, Star-Lord, come in, Chris Pratt's character. He comes in and he goes, Groot, clean up your room. This room is an absolute mess. You got vines everywhere and everything. And you hear Groot come up with a snide remark saying, I am Groot. And he's like, what was that? What did you say? I'm not boring. You're boring. And he goes, I am Groot. I am Groot. You know, giving him that teenage angst attitude and everything. That had me laughing. That was funny. So that kind of just tells us that for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or Infinity Wars movies, that he's going to be a much larger version. He's going to be a more grown-up version of Groot. So he's going to be pretty much fighting and dealing with everybody the way he did in the first movie, before he was destroyed and then brought back as a seedling and everything like that. Great character. I really love the Groot character. I never got into Guardians of the Galaxy until I heard like a few months before the first movie came out. So Groot is a wonderful character. Now, scene 4, which is pretty much the most interesting scene of the actual after credit scenes from the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You see the queen of the gold people. Her name is Aisha. She is completely gold, and she's talking to one of her I guess servants, or one of her maidens. Well, I refer to them as gold people because that's the most obvious name. The gold people tend to create their own children in labs, so they don't have sex to create their children. They just try to get the best. Their scientists get the best bits and pieces from DNA and combine them together to actually create their next generation of being. Very interesting. It's pretty much cloning, right? So they're pretty much a bunch of clones. The reason why they do this is to try to make them genetically close to perfect as possible with every generation. So that way eventually they'll reach that level of perfection and they will be superior. Throughout the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie, Aisha is the queen of these gold people. I forget the names, I'm sorry. Her race and her character are kind of in and out throughout the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. They're not exactly a main focal point throughout the film. They are there though. Once you see the after credit scene, you understand like, oh, that's why they're not the main focal point. Because they might be the main focal point of the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie or an Infinity Wars movie. In this post-credit scene, you see Aisha sitting down, she's talking, she looks over and she goes, oh, is that a new version of a birthing pod? She goes, yes, it's a little different, it's something of my creation. Then they show the birthing pod, and the birthing pod has all these tubes going into it's almost like coffin, large coffin-like shape. And everything's pretty much gold and metal metallic, and it even looks amazing actually, it looks really cool. So she says, I'm creating the perfect being, and now this perfect being will be so powerful. He will destroy the Guardians of the Galaxy. And she goes, and her maiden is like, oh, very well, miss. And they go back to Aisha and she goes, I think I'll name him Adam. It's a really cool and interesting concept that she is creating the perfect being, a very powerful being, and she's naming him Adam. So if it's the Adam, which most likely it will be, there's another character in the Marvel Universe in the comic books, and not cinematic yet. At least most likely he's coming. But his name is Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is a being who's super strength. He has super stamina. He has super agility. He has power to manipulate energy. He can fly. He can fight. He's a powerful being. He is someone who could be a major problem, a major villain for the Guardians of the Galaxy, even the Avengers. So if they bring out Adam Warlock, look him up, Google him, Adam Warlock, big problem. So if she creates Adam Warlock and he's the next villain in the Guardians of the Galaxy storyline, or again, Infinity Wars, which you know Thanos is going to be there, then it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, Adam Warlock was originally a villain for the Fantastic Four, so maybe when they make Fantastic Four Part 2, which I highly doubt, I hope they never make a Part 2 of that piece of shit movie. I truly hope they just use the characters in other movies that are much better done. Anyway, yeah, so Adam Warlock, that's a very interesting character. So yeah, guys, that is Part 2 of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie review, because the movie review was Part 1, Part 2 was the after credit scene. That was my video for the after credit scene. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys liked. Please subscribe. Please hit that bell notification. Please share. I without giving too many spoilers, I just gave a theory. I don't know about the Adam Warlock thing. Could be another Adam. You never know. It's gonna be Adam Warlock. Thank you very much, guys. I am Groot.